So first things first, get your upright, make sure the numbers are facing forward, and this outside hole is on the outside. If you have it that way, it'll be out the wrong way. So have it facing forward, and then get one of your small uprights, and just leave it resting there. Now this will sit there, but just be aware it can tip over, so always just have control of it. And then grab your first 2 bolts. And you just want to go through the 4th hole and the 1st hole, which will be explained in your instructions. Just finger tight for now. And as I said, it will sit there, but just be cautious of it. So now grab your 2nd upright, and you'll also need this part here. So in the 2 boxes you get, you'll have a left and a right one. To know you have the right one, you just want the pulley on the outside as well. So if it's in the inside, you've got the wrong side. So pretty much lift up this little crossbar, get it resting there, get your bolt, again go through number 4, and this will go through both the upright and the connecting bar, just like that, and repeat the same process with the bottom bolt. So with this next part, grab this bottom part with the 2 upright bits. You'll notice that it has a pulley connected already. It's only finger tight, but just take out the nut and the washer and just remove the bolt so it's nice and smooth, because you just want to put this down here, and without taking that nut and bolt off, it won't go. You just want to put it perfectly in the middle, so there's a bit of a hole showing on either side, and then put 2 bolts through. So just one at the front and then one at the back as well. And you can just leave the washer and the nut off because you'll need to put the cable through later, so just keep that nice and close. For this next part, just for safety reasons, to get the other upright connected, what I do is just get the crossbar, put 2 bolts in on either side. That way you can just get it connected and you don't have to worry about bumping it over. So slide it in and just finger tight it up. Just make sure you use the same height, so just use the numbers, and then that will sit there safely. So now you can connect the rest of the system without it falling over on you. So before you go any further, you do have to get the handles on before you get the connecting bars on. Otherwise you won't be able to put these over and you'll have to take a few parts off. So with this handle on the outside, with these facing on the upwards, if they're dangling backwards, it's the wrong way. You also have this black knob that you have to pull out as you're doing it and keep it nice and square. Depending on how short or tall you are, you'll be able to reach over, pull the black button up, and just repeat on the other side as well. And if you're short, just grab a ladder and hop up. Perfect. So now we're just going to put the connecting bars on. We're just going to put 2 bolts in from the back and leave the 2 front ones, just because there's a connecting bit at the front there. If you want, just put the bolts in already, makes your life a lot easier. So it'll be hole 52 and hole 56. Hold it there, should just rest on the bolts there, and just finger tight. Don't be too scared, it will lean forward, but it's not going to go anywhere. Awesome, so now you're just going to grab this front bit. As you can see, it's going to be on the left-hand side, which is on the inside. So just make sure the pulley is on the internal side of it. From here, grab your ladder. It doesn't matter which hole you do first, just make sure you have your balance. Again, it's going through the top hole, through the upright and into the connecting bar. Just hold that, as it will fall out and pull away. Once you get the first nut in there, it'll just rest there lightly. Get your 2nd bolt. And there you are. And then just repeat the same process on the other side, just remembering to start from the back. So now we're just going to be putting the back plate, connecting it to the uprights. You'll just need 2 bolts. From here, you're going to put your first bolt in the 2nd hole, so 1, 2, and then the bottom bolt will be 6 holes down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Otherwise, it's just the hole underneath 50. So you just want to put that lightly in so it's just sitting there, and do the same on the other side. Cool. So now we're going to do the back pad connected to the uprights. As you can see, I have it upside down, but also back to front. just because we're going to do the bottom bolts first and then flip it upwards. It's the easiest way when you're on your own. So pretty much depending on your height, put it on your shoulder, push that bolt through and just let it rest there. Remember to take the weight, otherwise the bolt will move. Just finger tighten, and then again, balance it, push the bolt through, and squeezing with your other hand, just keep the bolt sitting there. And it's now safely connected. Push your other two bolts back, and then what we're going to do is just flip it forward. With one hand, hold the back pad, and the other hand, push one of your bolts through, push the second one through, and connect the nut and bolt. Now that you've got the back pad connected, you can put the pull-up bar in its normal spot. Pull-up bar will just go on the top 3 holes, so the first bolt will be at the very top there, and as you can see, I've just got the other one there. So now you're going to put the top attachment on. If you're looking at it straight on, you'll notice you have this pad there on the right hand side and the pulley on the inside there. So the way you want this is this will be on the outside and this pulley will be on the inside. You're aiming for the second hole from the front, so 1, 2, and your bolts will go through here and here. There's 1, there's 2, and just put your washer and nut on both of them. And then repeat on the other side, just remembering to keep the pulley on the inside and the flat pad on the outside there. I just want to go around and tighten up all the outside bolts. It does help if you have an impact driver, otherwise just use your 2 shifters. Now that you've tightened up your rack, it's time to put the weight plates on. So if you grab these solid bars, you'll notice at one end there's a hole at the top of each of them, and at the other end there's nothing. Make sure both holes are facing upwards, otherwise you'll have to take everything apart. Just slot them into the holes like this. They should just come right down and be under this top bar. If they aren't, they're not all the way down. These 2 rubber donuts, make sure you put these on because again, if you forget them and you put all the weight plates on, you're going to have a terrible time taking them all off. So they just pop on, slide down to the bottom. From here, depending on which weight stack you have, for 105 you'll have 4 boxes, and for the 80 kilo stacks you're going to have 3. So just as you can see, make sure it's an even amount on each side. You're then also going to have your little Thor's hammer, which goes on the top at the very end. Just make sure it's close by to make your life a lot easier. From here, just take all the bricks out of the boxes and slide them all on. The good news is you can put it on in any direction. I'll just quickly show you. So as you can see, you got the hole from the front and back, and the little slit is down the middle there. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. All you have to do is grip it, line up the holes, slide it all the way down. Don't drop it unless you want to hear your ears, and just repeat that process until you've used up all the weights. So now that you've put all the weight plates on and you're onto the last one, quick tip, when you look at the 2 holes here, you'll see that they're both empty, and then the back one only has 1 hole. So make sure this is at the back and this is facing forward. It's just easier access for the pin. Slide that on, put that down. While we're still here, you want to grab the pin quickly, doesn't matter which hole. Just make sure you slide this down onto that silver compartment. Once that pin is in, this just tightens in. Don't be too worried about where you end up, but just say for now you want to go about 3/4 because you can adjust it later on. So keep that the nut there, and it is a bit sticky, but we'll get there. If it does get too tough, you can use a tool, otherwise just keep going through the little bumps. It is quite long, but it is a decent size, and just stop there for now. Awesome, so now that you've got the top plate in, it's time to connect the bars to the connecting poles. You'll notice there's 2 screws that are pre-attached, which you just have to take off because you'll get them for later. This is nice and symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way you do it, just as long as these are facing downward. From here, just go up and over. That will just go up and down, so just hold that. From here, straighten up the bars, push this all the way to the top. You will notice there's a little overhang, which is normal. Get 2 of your bigger bolts and just go 1 left, 1 right. Again, don't stress too much, those bars aren't going to go anywhere. And from here, get your 2 little bolts. You'll just have to pull up the bars a little bit and then just push the bolt through like that. Repeat here. Don't stress about pulling these up too high because you have a lot of protection underneath. So this is nice and secure. And from there, just get your washers and your nuts on both bolts. So now we're going to do the cabling. Quick tip, this one has to be facing sideways. So just make it nice and square. From here, this cable is the same ends at both ends. So it doesn't matter which end you grab. But what you want to do is take this bolt out, keep that for spare for later. This then twists up the side. It will then pop out. Take the ball out, and then you'll be left with these 2 little rings. Push them all the way to the tip. Leave them on because you will need them. It just makes this next process a lot easier. From here, we're going to go on the inside pulley. So you have a left and the right. So the great part about this is you don't have to take anything off. This will just go through everything. Use the ladder if needed. It might make it a bit quicker. But what you want to do is go through the middle here. It'll then pop out at the top here. This is going to just through there. And then see this front bar? You want to go underneath there through the pulley, push through, and it pops out. Give yourself a little bit of slack, so just pull it through a bit. You're then going to go again underneath that bar, but on top of the pulley. There's a little hole here that comes straight down. Make sure the cable stays on the pulley. And again, give yourself some slack. I'd say just pull about 90% through. From there, jump back down off your ladder. You're going to come from the inside. So find the end of your cable. Just go straight through there. Pull it all the way through. From here, you can pretty much just pull this all the way up. Like such. Bring your ladder back to the outside. From here, you're then going to go straight up through this little hole. Again, you want to go underneath that bar into the pulley. You're then going to go over 2 pulleys, and you'll see that little screw there. There's just another little bar you have to go under. So make sure you get it through. It should feel nice and smooth. If not, you've gone over the top bar. Pull it all the way over. I'll move the ladder here. And so from here, you'll see that you'll have 2 pulleys to go through. If you just come around the back here, you'll see another little bar you have to go through the gap. As such, you don't want to go around that, otherwise the cables will not work. Come through to the front. Again, push it up. Might come straight away, might not. Pull it through. So from there, you've got the whole cable pretty tight. You then want to grab your pin, pull the cable so it pops up. That'll give you extra slack, which will be needed in the next step. Pop this down, make it a bit easier for yourself. So from here, there's 2 pulleys. What you want to do is go over the top, get in the middle of the 2 pulleys. So essentially we're going to go over, down, and then it's going to come underneath, straight up into this left pulley here. And then pretty much where we started, but on the right hand side pulley, end up in between those 2 pulleys. And then if you remember the last step, you need your black ball, which goes first. So push that through. The rubber donuts are all right. And then grab your U-shaped tool, goes into the hole and feeds like that. This bolt will then go through and grab your washer and nut and lock it off. So once your cables are back in, to check how tight or loose they are, what you want to do is just grab the cable, pull it out a little bit, and make sure this black ball moves forward a little bit before this top plate comes out. If you're pulling it all the way out here, and and the top plate hasn't moved, that just means the cable is way too loose. So what you'd want to do is take the pulley out of this system and just twist it down so this gap becomes smaller. Unfortunately, it's a bit of trial and error, but generally if it's about that far out, it's about 5 twists down, and keep repeating the process until you get a little finger gap between the ball and just this little framework. So from there, you'll see it's going to be nice and smooth. Once the cables are done, just make sure you do all the nuts and bolts up. They're just 17 mil, and you'll just notice that where all the pulleys are. Once you do that, repeat that on the left-hand side, and then you're all set with the cables. So from here, you just want to do the stickers. Pretty much, these will just pop off. It's going to be nice and sticky. What you want to do is just line that up in the middle, nice and square. First plate's obviously 5 kilos, and depending on your stack, you will stop at 80 kilos or 105, and you'll see all the stickers just here. There is also an extension bit for the 105 stacks. These will just go on the top plates, so watch out for the pin there. You'll notice that there's pre-drilled holes, and you just want to finger tighten these up. These will rest here, because what you'll do with this is, if you want, you can put a band which will connect to the the top bar, but it also connects to this little rod. So you'll have this Allen key. You've just got to loosen these up, just a touch, and then take them off just with the front hole. Slide that to about halfway. You'll then put 2 on each side, which you'll tighten up with this. And then once you do this side, come around to the other side and just slide them on and repeat the process.